This sucks. We're going to have to do it again. It'll be okay. It's going to be okay. That's what I really thought, was it's going to be okay.
Scared. All I could think about was my 4-year-old son and who was going to raise him. And that scared me, thinking he was growing up without me and I wouldn't be able to see him grow up.
I was done, because I thought we were just ending a battle of cancer with Mark, and mine was starting, but I was thankful that they caught it through my mammogram.
Just devastated. Just, I mean, it always happened to somebody else, and not you, and all of a sudden, here it is, you got cancer. No, well, okay. Then from that point, pretty quick, you just decided you got to do what they say. You do what they do. That's it.
I was 30 years old. I was devastated. I wanted to have another child, and it was out of the question because I had to do a hysterectomy.
Okay.
And I had lost family to cancer. My mother had cancer, and I didn't think I'd get it that young.
So the day that I found out that I had cancer was it'll be 3 years ago on February 11th. But the day I found out that it was cancer, they also removed it. I had an enclosed carcinoid tumor. So the biggest impact for me was that cancer took my lung away. They had to remove my full left lung.
And the doctor came back and he showed me this fuzzy mass, and I didn't know what to think. I didn't know how to feel. It was just like, kind of like the world just dropped out from underneath me. And so we had the choice to go either to Arnold Palmer or Shands, and we chose Arnold Palmer, and the next day they did their MRI, and they told me that it was cancer. And they took us out in the family room to tell me, and I found out by myself. I was in there by myself with the doctors and the oncologist, and I broke down. I lost it completely. And the doctor looked at me and he said, okay, you do this here, and then when you go back in that room, that's it. You don't do it. So I lost myself for a little bit, and about 5 minutes I sat there and cried, and then went back in the room, and that was it. And I've just dealt with it day by day since then.
Many different stages. The first stage was denial and not accepting it. I found out on January 1st. Happy New Year's. I found out by accident too. I had an accident that led them into finding it. I actually went for 3 different opinions to make sure that what I was being told was correct, because I just went into denial. I knew I had the possibility in my life of getting it because I've lost 2 grandmothers and my father's had it, so it took a little while to come to grips with it, but I did, and got it taken care of, and here we are 5 years later. So.
Especially when we did the Relay for Life, I got a lot of, hey, I'm not in this by myself. There's a lot of people out there that cancer impacts, and I'm glad I have that support with those people, because it's going through hell.
As a survivor for Relay for Life, I almost felt unworthy, because I saw all these people who went through the chemo and the radiation and the treatments, and I didn't have to do any of that. But it made me feel good that I was able to participate because I was alive, even though I didn't have to go through all of that.
Oh, they've been every step of the way. They're there. I mean, even when you don't think about it or know they're there, like the house up there in Gainesville. What's the name of it?
The Hope Lodge.
Hope Lodge. I mean, they're a part of that. And every turn of the way, there's someone with that organization there, and it's really neat. It really is. Yeah, really appreciate it.
Everything. I became a volunteer, I think it was about 1954, and Rochester, Minnesota, and it was great. We went around to all the schools and talked to the children about why you shouldn't smoke, and we took them down to the Mayo Clinic and showed them a lung from smoking, and it it was fun, it was exhilarating. Went all the way to country schools, and my husband became the co-chairman for the state in '57, and then the chairman for '59 for the American Cancer Society.
As a survivor, my involvement with Relay for Life, I actually have to start with Best Buy's involvement with Relay for Life. My job with Best Buy is actually what got me involved with Relay for Life, and I'm very, very grateful for that. The involvement with Relay gives good purpose to my cancer and my experiences. I've got other experiences other than my own. I lost my dad to lung cancer. My stepdad I lost to pleural mesothelioma. So there is a lot of personal attachment to the involvement in. It makes me feel like cancer doesn't control me. I have some control over fighting against it, and anything that I can do to fight against it, I enthusiastically grasp on that. And so I'm really grateful that there is American Cancer Society and Relay for Life, and just encouraging people to not just sit down and accept it, and not just to lie back and let cancer take you away.
Well, it's funny because the way I became involved with it was at the last Best Buy store that I worked at. Kim was the head of the Relay for Life for the Orlando area, and she lost a brother to cancer and got very active in it, and it's something I've never even really thought about. And I helped her out with it, and I've really enjoyed it. And since coming to this store, I made sure that we participated in it. Whether it was Leesburg or the Lady Lake one, but we've always participated in the Relay for Life. It's kind of personal for me, and when you do that Survivor Lab, it really hits you.
Would be euphoria. Would be because so many people in my life have been
Relieved. It would be so great. Because once you've had cancer, you think about every little ache and every little pain. And to know that there was a cure, the worry would be gone. There would be no worry. And when, like Martha, my sister, she came up to me and said, "Man, I've got a lump." I wouldn't have to worry about her as much. I would know that, well, it's okay, there's a cure. It would be a relief.
But I think everyone I know knows someone that has cancer or has been affected by cancer. Because I meet people every day, and it's amazing. They've had cancer or someone else has had cancer and really had no idea that they ever had been faced with it.
Cancer would be, it affects the little children too, and that's the sad part when you go up there and you see, here I'm 60 years old, lived a great life, and then you got some little 9-year-old kid that's got it, and oh man, that's sad. But no, cancer-free world would be fantastic. Yeah.
When we went to Deliver the Dream, there was an activity where we picked a picture that spoke to us, and then we told about the picture. My picture was of a little boy sitting in a room looking out of a window. At that point, that's how I thought that his life was going to be, is he was going to have to sit in his room and look out a window with his shunt and everything. But now I realize that he doesn't have to do that. A world without cancer would be no windows. There'd be no rooms for him to have to stay in. He would be free.
I think it would be the most wonderful thing in the world to know that you're not going to lose another family member to cancer. To lose a family member and watch them suffer. It's bad enough when you have cancer, but when you lose a loved one and you have them in your home, and you take care of them, and you hold them while they're dying of cancer, it's hard. So I would love to see a world without cancer.
Well, I signed up to do the Relay for Life this year, and cancer's always been a big part of my family. It's my grandma had colon cancer. I had an uncle that died of leukemia. My dad had metastatic lung cancer to his brain. I have an aunt that's a survivor and actually walked with me in the relay that's had a double mastectomy. And this year while I was walking in the relay, a few days before, I noticed that I had discharge from my breast. And at the time I didn't really consider it to be that bad, but the night of the relay while I was walking, it had turned bloody. And the more I walked into the night, as I walked around the track, I read the signs that kept saying, have a mammogram, save a boob, and it impacted me because I'm one of those people that put things off, and I hadn't had a mammogram in 5 years. And I called my doctor that week and said, there's something wrong, I need to come in, and she saw me immediately. They sent me for a mammogram immediately, and it was abnormal. So I was scared. I was really scared. Having the family history, I didn't tell anybody in my family what was going on because I didn't want to scare anyone. And I went and they decided they needed to do a stereotactic biopsy and a galactogram. And I work in pathology, so that's scary too because I see the reports every day of what these things can do, how they come back, and most of them are malignant. So I went and had my stereotactic biopsy. At that time, by then I told my husband and my aunt. I didn't tell my mom yet. And they went with me, and they did it, and boy, it was a long wait. It seemed a lot longer than it was, but I didn't know until the next night, and the doctor called me. My doctor called me and told me that it was benign, but it had atypical cells in it, and it needed to come out. And boy, I was scared because I wasn't sure what they were going to find once they got in there, if they had gotten it all. And in the meantime, my younger sister called and said, you know what, I was playing golf and I noticed that I have a discharge and this is really scaring me because of what's going on with you. And my sister never had a mammogram before. And she said, I'm scheduling an appointment this week and I'm going to go and have it. And she did. And thank God she did because hers came back with cancer. And I was very fortunate. I had my lumpectomy in June and everything is clear right now. I'm having some issues with my other breast, but I feel very fortunate at this point. And my sister, they caught it at the earliest stage they could. She's had her lumpectomy and she's taken her radiation, and I feel really fortunate. If it hadn't been for the relay, I may have put it off for a lot longer than I should have. And if it hadn't happened to me, my sister would have never had her mammogram. And so it may have saved both of our lives.